Democrats are brainwashed. I don't understand how you guys can support the killing of 40,000 people over the past 3 weeks, but yet when Trump bombs Iran, this is what they were asking for. They were asking to be bombed so that the government can go away. Now you guys are upset that like an elementary school of children was killed. Well, what about all the 40,000 people that were killed before? This doesn't make any sense. You guys are fake humanitarians and you guys are brainwashed. It's delusional. You guys don't make sense.
While women in Iran are risking their lives to get out of their hijabs, white liberal women in America are fighting to wear them. Videos and pictures of the anti-regime protests in Iran are already limited thanks to the Islamic regime cutting off internet for its citizens. And this white liberal woman on Twitter is telling people to stop sharing the footage. Why? Because all of these people are showing their internalized Islamophobia. Imagine being so brainwashed by liberalism, you no longer support women's rights. Just a reminder, this is Iran before 1979, and this is Iran in 2022. The Iranian people have been oppressed by the Iranian regime for 47 years, including human rights violations and sadistic crimes against women. That's not Islamophobia. It's called fighting to get your freedom back, and I hope the Iranian people are very successful.
The message for the people of Gaza is going to be more of the message that should be sent to the people here, in that they have achieved victory. We haven't done anywhere near enough. And the people here, I promise you, we do feel ashamed. We do feel like we're not doing enough. We do feel like change needs to come, because change must come. And in the form that it must come is that this empire, the American empire that's been hurting our people since the beginning, the imperial Western powers that have been hurting our people since the beginning, they must fall. And inshallah they will fall. And my message to the people of Gaza and the oppressed peoples across the world is that there are people here, both young and old, who are going to be willing to fight and are willing to put their lives and everything they can on the line to bring these empires down, because they must come down.
What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys pulling up today. Did you see the white lady that was standing next to this dude looking like she's a hostage? Goodness gracious. We got a lot to get into, but I need you to see Anna Kasparian gets smoked by this Iranian woman who is just flabbergasted at these liberals' continuous support for the evil, wicked regime that was once in Iran. You know, they're being eradicated right now. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Check this out.
I hate the regime in Iran.
Right.
I hate the regime.
So why wouldn't you want it changing?
I hate the mullahs. There are Armenians living in Iran right now who hate the mullahs. Okay, but regime change should not be spurred by the United States and Israel, which wants to install.
You don't hate the regime in Iran. You don't hate the Islamic Republic. You hate us. You hate every single woman who get beaten up, who go to prison, who get lashes for the crime of just simply dressing like you. You hate us because you give misinformation to international community right now. Absolutely darkness in Iran because of the internet shutdown. Iranians have no voices, but you go on Iran, on Iran talking everywhere to international media and giving wrong information. You say that the Iranian people do not want regime change being imposed by Trump administration or Prime Minister Netanyahu. Who said that? Iranian took to the streets since 2009, 6 major uprising, and they made it clear that this is the people of Iran who want to change the regime. And then you saying that this is external regime change. When you say that, it just reminds me of the time when I launched my campaign against compulsory hijab. Ilhan Omar, the hijabi congresswoman, said the exact same thing, accused me, saying that smear campaign everywhere. She said that Masih Alinejad is the mouthpiece of President Trump and her campaign is being pushed by Trump administration. And guess what? The day after, the Iranian state television used her information to attack me. And a month later, Ali Khamenei, the leader of the Islamic Republic, used the same narrative, saying that that American agent must be killed. Yes. With the same narrative, he ordered my killing. And guess what? They hired killers to kill me on US soil 3 times. Now you're doing the same thing by accusing Iranians being led by Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump, by accusing them promoting external regime change. You are actually giving excuse to Iranian regime to slaughter Iranians, to kill innocent and unarmed protesters. This is what you're doing. And stop doing that. If you decided to keep silent, that's fine. But when people of Iran are being banned from internet, they don't have a voice. Don't go on media and talk on behalf of them. Let us talk. Let us talk. Because of your narrative, right now, thousands of people have been killed in the streets because the Islamic Republic officials took on state television saying the exact same thing that you said, that this is external regime change being led by Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump. It's not. We, the people of Iran, being trapped by a barbaric regime, by a terrorist regime. And they are slaughtering people. They are killing people. More than 2,000 people have been killed. We are the East Germany. Be brave and stand with the people of Iran. If you cannot, then don't help the Iranian regime to kill us with the same accusations. Is that too much to ask?
It's not. But what you got to understand is that anything that the president is with, anything that the president would like to move forward with, it's in the job description of a Democrat, especially if they're in the media. It's in the job description to go the opposite direction. It's in the job description to dissent. And these liberals out here who claim that they're oppressed, they know nothing about oppression. If you've been born and raised and only lived in this country, you know nothing about oppression. And the fact that these women who quote unquote stand for women's rights, who quote unquote say that, we want to see women, thrive in the nation. We want to see women thrive in the world, but they can get out there and say, hey, I'd actually prefer to live in Iran over the United States because we're oppressed here in the United States. It just goes to show you how wacky these people are and disingenuous or misinformed or ill-informed, or maybe a combination of the two. I don't know. But I'm glad that you have women like this willing to stand up and challenge people like Anna Kasparian and others out there who are supporting this wicked regime.
Hi, Iranian woman here. It's become very apparent that you haven't been listening to anything that we've had to say for the past 2 years. But I was wondering if you could just lend me a few minutes of your time in this ungodly hour to hear us now. We've had to watch over the past 24 hours people clambering onto the internet to exclaim that Iran has the right to defend itself. In what capacity have you distorted the story to make the Islamic Republic the victim? That's I think what we're most curious about. When we were screaming for the past 2 years that they were lynching us, where were you? When we were screaming that they were killing Iranian women for not wearing a hijab, where were you? When they were lynching Iranian men from cranes for protesting, where were you? When we were explaining that this is a terrorist occupying force, where were you? But all of a sudden, everyone's graduated from Instagram School of Law to say that this is a violation of international law and Iran has the right to defend itself. First of all, you're not talking about Iran, you're talking about the Islamic Republic. What the Islamic Republic does is not a reflection of the Iranian people. We've been clear about what we want, which is peace. Second of all, you may have discovered the Middle East yesterday, but the Middle East didn't start existing yesterday. If you want to talk about an act of war, just a few days ago, a federal court determined that the attacks on Israeli embassies and Jewish centers in Argentina were conducted by the Islamic Republic and Hezbollah. That was in the 90s. That was in the 90s. Was that an act of war? How about the terror proxies that the Islamic Republic has created to foster regional instability? What did you think that they were there for? What did you think Hezbollah was there for? Hamas, Houthis, the militia groups in Iraq and Syria. Did you think that they were there to instigate a system of public schooling, education, to feed the poor, house the unhoused? What did you think that they were there for? Is that an act of war? Was October 7th an act of war? Are the rockets that Hezbollah fires into northern Israel on a near daily basis an act of war? And so when these senior IRGC commanders meet up with Hezbollah in a IRGC military base, okay, not an Iranian embassy, and Israel strikes Your response is to say that that is an act of war. If you had listened to us for the past 2 years, much less the past 45 years, you'd know that Iranians don't want war with Israel. We want peace with Israel. Iranian people inside of Iran have come out and said this over and over and over again. It's you that wants war with Israel. It's your hatred for Israel and your hatred for Jews that's pulling us into a war that we didn't ask for. Have we not suffered enough for the past 45 years that we now have to be used as pawns for your fantasies about war with Israel? Leave us alone. We don't want that.
مثل گاو و گوسفنده که خدا اینها را خلق کرده برای اینکه وسیله غذای مردم باشه و یک قسم حیوان خلق کرده و اون زنها و خانمها هستن. اینا عین گاو و گوسفند هستن، حیوان هستن، و خدا خلقشون کرده برای استفاده مردها، فقط واسه که مردا وحشت نکنن. این زنها را به شکل خود انسان خلق کرده، اگر نه اینها عین همون گاو و گوسفند و عین همون اسب و شتر و الاغ هستن.
Yeah. So you can see that. That's right out the horse's mouth. They look at the women as horses, cows, mules, sheep over there in Iran. But yet you have liberal women out here. You know, the pro-women, fight the power, pro-feminism women out here defending this. It's unreal. It really is. It's unreal.
It's illegal for a woman to sing solo in public. You cannot dance in public. So basically, if you're a woman and you're having fun, it's illegal. You cannot have a party. If man and woman are together and the state finds out, they will raid your home. So you can get arrested for the music, for dancing, or just simply being in the same room. You cannot openly have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Relationships outside of state-approved rules are criminalized. Kissing your partner in public is illegal. It's punished under Acts Against Public Morality, and the consequences include prison, fine, arrest, or up to 74 lashes. Your phone isn't private. The calls are monitored, the texts are searched, and so if you're saying anything against the government, you might disappear the next morning. So it's not just women. Being a human under the rules of Islamic Republic is hard enough, but animals aren't spared. Dogs are considered najis, which means impure, so if you're walking one, you can get detained or fined. There's a lot more to it, but I cannot summarize 47 years of cruelty in 1 minute video, so I will share more later.
Yeah, it's a trip over there, man. And that's why, when people over here talk about how they're oppressed and all this other kind of foolishness, I'm like, man, if you don't miss me with all of that, y'all don't know oppression. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know oppression. If you are born here in the United States of America, you literally hit the birthplace lottery. We are the top 1%. Every other people around the world would love to come here. They would trade places with you in a heartbeat. Every woman, especially those in a lot of these Muslim nations, would trade places with any woman here in our country in a heartbeat. And they wouldn't think twice about it. They wouldn't even have to hem and haw about it. They would be gone. Yet you have women over here, especially liberal women over here, talking about, how they're oppressed and, this is wrong and so forth and so on, man. At some point, when you are the world superpower, the number one country in the world, the world's police, with that comes responsibility. And I know, people don't want to, they don't want to accept that, but it comes, that's just what it is. No different than when you are in the top, 1% in our country, people look at you as to have a responsibility to take care of those that are less fortunate. That's what the Democrats talk about, right? We need the billionaires to pay their fair share, right? So the poor can eat and live better. So we can pay for childcare and all these other things, these social services that they would like to provide, right? But when you start talking about taking care of the world in the same way, because we are the 1% here in America to the world, they don't want to see it the same way. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts on any of this? Let me know. If you disagree, let me know as well. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or buy your brother a coffee. The link's in the description box below. You can also support via Cash App. That link's there in the description box below as well. Shout out to my brother Eric Plummer. Join us Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for ARP in the morning. If it's your first time in the chat, please let us know so we can properly welcome you to the show. And as always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. It is crazy out here in these streets. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
We won't stop. I won't quit. Stand for the truth. No counterfeit. the fake ones split. Repent for the lies. Let the darkness live.